Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Final Touches Thursday, and yesterday we put some mushrooms on the page, made it all pretty. I know we started this mushroom and these mushrooms on Tuesday. No, on Saturday. We did the background on Tuesday. Yesterday we did this fella and these little fellas here and all of the grass work. We've got some more grass work to do, which we'll do a little bit more today, and we'll work on some of these other mushrooms as well. So let's just do a couple of little touches on the grass, just to get it all touched up. I see a couple of places that I may have missed. So let's get some grass going here. Little flicks. Switch you over to the other camera so you can actually see the little flicks. Not that you want to, but it's just little flicks. I'm just going to put some grass flick in, put in some shadowing underneath the mushroom area here. I hope everybody is having a great week. It's almost over. We're almost through the week. Now, as I said yesterday and that sort of thing, I did gesso this page, so it does have a little bit of extra tooth on it, which is fine. It helps out with the layering. But sometimes you get to a point with the color where you want it to be, and the tooth is still showing through and you don't want to add more color. So you just take your blender and you just go over it, or you go over it with a lighter color, and it's perfectly fine. So we're just putting in some shadows for the little mushrooms here, because their little caps are going to shadow that area a little bit. Okay. Bring it out a little bit further out here and out here for that mushroom there. You can even put in a little bit of shadow from the vines, though I don't know if they're on. Oh yeah, I guess they're on the ground, aren't they? So we're just going to put in a little bit of a shadow from them as they're going down the hill. And because the grass is green, you put the shadow as either a green-gray or a green. And that's what I've got here, is a nice green. And we're going to put the shadow in here. We've got quite a bit of shadow from the mushroom tops, as well as the vine. Now this one's reaching up a bit, so the shadow is going to actually go under it. Like so. Because it's lifting up off of the hill to go around the top of this mushroom, so it's actually not on the ground. And then we'll put some shadow on the mushroom as well. A little bit harder because I did do some work there. So this one here is also up off the ground here. So we're just going to put the shadow and then it comes down onto the ground here. And it comes up off the ground here. So we're just going to put a shadow. Just under it a bit. Like so. And put a little bit of a shadow inside of the loops there because it's looping in front, and then it comes back down onto the ground here. Like that. And like I said, this is the shadow from it here on the ground because it's lifting up off the ground there. I missed a spot. There we go. Alright, so let's get some more shadows in here. So we've got some shadows in here that we need to do. So as you were looking at the page, because there is no visible light source in the page, when I have pages like that, I put the visible light source as myself. So the person looking at the page is the visible light source. If that makes sense. And that way, excuse me, and that way you know the light is coming from the front. So everything that has the light hitting it will be front ways. Alright. So we've got this one coming up off the ground here. I'm going to put some grass in here. Just to fill it in there. And we got to fill it in down here. Because the paintbrush was too small. And we'll put in a little bit of shadow there. The joys of the final little tidbits in the background. And once we're done with the final little bits in the background, I'll move on to the mushrooms that are left. And we'll color those up. And then we'll be done one more page from Karen E. Myers. And this will be page number 3, which is awesome. Okay, I think that's the majority of our shadows and our grasses. That we have going on there. I think I gotta put a little bit more here because there's a bit of a hill going on there. There we go. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more under here because there's a large amount of mushrooms shadowing all that area underneath there. So behind this mushroom would be a shadow if we're the light source. So we're just going to put in a little bit of shadow on the grass behind it there. Same with down here. This whole area be a little bit shadowy from those mushrooms on the grassy hill behind them. So as you can see, there's a little at the bottom of the hill and the top of the hill. So down here at the bottom of the hill, we're putting in the shadows and into the hill here because we're the light source. These mushrooms here would have a shadow on the hill. Same with this one here, would have a bit of a shadow on the hill as well. You don't have to make it really big or, cover huge amounts of area with it. Just enough to show that there's a shadow there, that the light is coming from the front. Once again, we're using the Koh-i-noor Polycolor 144 pencils for this page. And this is the Karen E. Myers Mystic Lands of Kelswych, Volume 2. In case you have missed this week's choice. Now this is one that was chosen by the community to be done for the week. So next week, I don't think we're going to do mushrooms next week. I think we're going to we'll pick a different type of thing next week. Though there's a lot of mushrooms in Karen's work, which is fine. They're adorable. But we've done lots of mushrooms and gourds, so we'll take a look and see what else is available to do. Love these little mushroom people though. They're so cute. They have such personalities. Alright. Just putting in a little bit of shadow for these little fellas here. Like I said, they are on a little bit of a hill at the bottom of this hill. So they're going to give a bit of a shadow. Same with this one here is going to give a shadow on the upper part of the hill here, where the queen of the mushrooms is, or the mama mushroom, whichever you want to put. However you want to look at it. Okay, and then this one here. It's going to be putting a bit of a shadow on the mushroom there as well. All right. Just trying to make sure I get all the visualization correct. Otherwise it'll drive me crazy and it won't have far to drive. I've been swatching, well, not swatching, but I've been preparing swatch charts. I'm going to be re-swatching my entire swatch book throughout the next couple of weeks, months, years, God knows how long. So I'm digitalizing my swatch chart so that when I do finally get all of them done, I can compile them all into a book for those out there that might want one. But it's going to take me a little while. I have started on it though, but like I said, it'll take a while. Now we're going to go in with a little bit of the lighter green, just going to extend those little grass areas down a little bit, blending them into that light green paint. And blending those shadow areas in as well. Oh, I do apologize. I did not realize my phone was not turned off. I will call that person back. If they give up. If not, I'll have to pick it up. Alright, well, seems she's not giving up. Oh, there she goes. Okay. I'll call her back here in just a few minutes. Let's finish this part up here, and then I will continue from there after I give her a call back. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just going through, spreading out and blending those shadows into the background so that they're not any harsh lines, and to knock down the tooth of that gesso, because the gesso added some tooth to the page, which is fine. I don't mind that. But with adding some tooth to the page, makes things look a little grainier than it would typically if it was on a flat page. Thought I had turned off the ringer on my phone, but you guys would have still heard it anyway, because then it would just be a bzz, bzz, bzz on my desk. Okay. So I'm just going through down here and just getting those shadows in as well, blending them out, making sure that they're not all nasty, and getting any areas that I may have missed with the watercolor. There we go. Okay, I think that's that area. Let's just do a little bit over here. Just extend it out, blending it. Just so it's all blended in. Okay. Alrighty. So that part is all finished up. Now I think we're going to start on this fellow here, and we'll have to think of the colors to use. We will have to see. So either do it like these two as one little family. I think so. I think that's what we'll do. Or we can do it like this one here and have this be one family. We could do that as well. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. All right. Okay, so we're going to start with some scarlet red. And we're going to go into the back here. And we'll get this guy's top all finished up here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing and my hand isn't in the way. And as you can see, there's a lot of texture there, and that's just from the gesso. Like I said, I went over the whole page with the gesso so that when I went over it with the water, it wasn't going to affect the entire page. Because I don't know if the page would have accepted the color that we're putting on it now with all that water being put on it. I wasn't going to take the chance. We'll just put the gesso down. And of course, during our month of water next month, I will be doing showing you how to put the gesso on. We won't be coloring that page the day we put it on because it does need to dry and cure for a little bit before we can paint on top of it. But I will go through on one of the not your typical Tuesdays and show you how to work with the gesso as well as the satin that I have. Both is pretty much the same way. So I'm just going to bring that red up into the top of the mushroom here. Just going to bring it all the way up the mushroom, leaving the spots open there. Now, as you can see, I've done it darker down here. I've put a heavier layer down there. I'm letting the tooth show through here because this area I am going to be adding other colors. And we want them to blend into it, but we don't want the red to overtake them. So I'm glad I got a little bit of blue up there on the top. It gives me a good purple. So I got a little bit of blue up there, which gives a really good shadow. I was going to erase it, and then I thought, no, that'll help me. So I left it alone. Now back here we're going to do a heavier hand. And we're just going to get that edge all fixed up there. Like so. All right. So I'm just lightening my hand as I come into the center. where our light source is going to show more of. All right, now we're going to take our reddish orange and we're going to start back here. Adding that reddish orange into the red that we've already laid down and bringing it out into the center area. So that we get a nice gradient coloring there. Okay, just going to turn the page a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. And so I can see what I'm doing. It's important for you guys to see it, but it's also important for me to be able to see it. Otherwise, I can't do it. And we're just going to bring this up and in, and then I'm going to lighten that hand as we get further in to the white area here. And then we are going to grab our Persian orange. Yeah, Persian orange. And we're just going to go into that light area. Fill that in a little bit more. And then we're going to grab our amber orange. And we're going to finish it off with the amber orange. Blending that all together, getting a little bit of that yellow orange color into the lighter areas. And like I said, excuse me, the texture from the gesso gives it a bit more tooth than this paper would normally have. So you can definitely put more layers on after you've gessoed, so than you could have on the original coloring book paper. And of course we're going to leave his spots white, and we're going to add some white to them as well. But we're going to go around each spot with the indigo blue, but I got to sharpen it first, just to give them that shadow because they're stickety-uppity. Okay, got a nice sharp point. Take that indigo blue, come down the edge a little bit where that shadow's going to be. Tedious work. This is the tedious part, getting those shadowy areas in. And combined. So I'm taking that blue and I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it and just blending it into that red to create that shadow in the back. And as I get further into the red, I'm lightening it up so that it's barely there, but there's still enough there to give a good shadow. Going around the edges of the little spots. I'm not too worried about covering up the spots because I will be going over it with the white gel pen. So not too concerned about covering them up, but I do want to make sure that they have a good amount of shadow around them. Like so. Okay. And there's our mushroom top. Let's see, this looks a little off here. That's better. All right. Now we're going to put our blue back. Now we're going to do our underneath of our mushroom. And we're going to start with, not that one, this one. We're going to start with natural sienna. And we're going to do this area here. First of all. And we're just going to do this little ridge all the way around the mushroom top. And then we're going to come into it a little bit as well. And I'll use a darker brown in the back there because it's going to be darker. Same with up here on the edge because that shadow is going to be a little bit deeper. Like so. So we'll do up this mushroom. This one here is going to be done the same way. So I'll do that one off camera. Actually, no. Yeah, this one here is going to be done the same way. And then this one here and this one here we may do with these colors. And then this one, big one up on the top I still haven't decided on that one. Might just make her this lovely pinky purple color because she is standing out there all on her own as a queen of the crop. Just putting making sure that we get that shadow in there nice and heavy. Okay, now we're going to take the darker brown. So we're going to take Cafe Noir, and we're going to go right up against the top here. Bringing it down a little bit deeper as we get closer to the back. Same with up here. And those areas that are going to be higher shadow areas. I'm going to turn you again. Just going through and making sure I have enough of that shadow in there. I know, it's kind of boring, but it's okay. Now I'm going to go through with the natural sienna. Now, as I get closer to the light source, which is, or the light area, which would be this area here, because that's where the light's going to be hitting the most, I start lightening my hand. So the sienna is still going to be down, but it's going to be a lot lighter than it is back here as we get closer to the center area. And then we'll be going over it with one more color to create that brighter light area. And then as we get back further into here, the heavier the hand goes. And the more color gets put on. Like so. And then we're going to take yellow ochre, and we're just going to fill that in. And if you find that your lighter colors have overtaken your darker colors, that's fine too. You can definitely go over them. Like I said, the gesso that we put on here has given us quite a bit of tooth to work with, which helps quite a bit. Alright, and we're going to take this one. This one. I'm going to take the light brown. Just give it that little touch of redness. Yeah. Yeah, like that. I was looking a little too same kind of color, the same color. So add a little touch of that red brown and it fills it in very nicely. Okay. Don't have much to talk about today. I'm trying to think of things to talk about, and I don't have much to talk about today. I'm sorry, guys. Pretty much tell you everything all week long. um, the Discord seems to be going over very well. I really enjoy having everybody come and hang out and, you know, basically hang out and chat with each other, and show each other what you're coloring. And there are live channels. There is one that is filters required. So if you do have small children in the house, or prefer not to hear some of the language that is going on in the chat, the other chat, because I don't require filters in the chat, you can definitely hang out in the no filters required. If you don't mind the adult language, you can definitely hang out in either of the other chat rooms, Color and Chatter or Speakeasy. Speakeasy is a chat room for people that aren't coloring right at the moment but still want to hang out with people, um, so that they can hang out together and just sit and chat, which is great too. Okay, so there's the top of the mushroom all finished up. So now we're going to do the base of the mushroom. And I've been contemplating how to do this, but I want the base of the mushroom, see, as you see with this one, with the reds and the um, yellows and the oranges, the same as the top of the mushroom. So I'm going to start with Bordeaux red, which is a very, very bright, or very, very dark red, I should say, because the edges are going to be shadowed. This is a round object, as well as an object that has this funky little hat on it. So all of his features here under his mushroom top are going to be shadowed. So I'm going in very heavy into the deep areas and just feathering it out, getting that red tone going on there. And into a shadowy area there. It's very strange to color a mushroom that has features Facial features. It's a very angry mushroom. So we'll have to color to that expression as well. You know, we can't really make him a bright cherry colored mushroom when he's looking as angry as he does. So. But we still have to remember where our light source is. All right, now we're going to go in with the scarlet. And we're going to bring that out, adding to the Bordeaux. I don't know why I have this tickle in my throat tonight. It just won't, or today, it just won't go away. Hopefully we'll have enough time to at least finish this one up. Can't believe it's already taken me 20 minutes just to color the mushroom head. Alright. Then we want to go down in between because the shadow is going to be there. And we bring this one out to this point. Like so. Then we're going to start with our oranges. So we're going to start with our reddish orange. Again, just extending that shadow area. Yeah, he looks kind of grumpy, doesn't he? He's an angry mushroom. And then down into here. Extend that up a little. And then we're going to take orange and extend it down a little more. Not going over his eye balls themselves. Going over everything just with a light touch in the areas we want the brightest colors to be. because we do have another color to go over it. And then we'll grab this one. So this is the amber orange. And we're just going to finish that off with the amber orange. Okay, so now we're going to take a bit of blue, maybe a bit of, yeah, a bit of, a little bit of green, blue. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So I'm going to take a bit of indigo, and we're just going to go around his edge of his eyes. And then we're going to take light blue. We'll do the inside of his eyes here. And of course I'll add some white as well when we get to that point. But for the inside of his eyes, because there's a shadow there, I'm going to add some gray. Over that upper shadow edge. And maybe a little bit of that red through here. Just use that Bordeaux red to put in that shadow area. Like so. Now at this point I'm just going through and making sure that I've got most of that white spot covered. And at some point I'll come through with a blender and blend it out. And I think we need a little tiny bit more of the red orange. I think he's looking a little too yellow. Especially in those shadowy areas. Alright. Okay, that's a little better. Now we're going to do the same thing down his body here. We're going to take that Bordeaux and go into those shadow areas. And him and his wife are joined at the hip. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay. And then we're going to take our scarlet red and we're going to extend that out. Try to make sure that we get a good covering on the majority of the areas here. Go back in with the Bordeaux. Make sure that is nice and dark. And grab our red. And come up from its root system. Like so. I have found that it is a lot quicker to color when I'm just sitting chatting instead of like on live chats and stuff like that. It just seems like it goes a lot faster and I get a little bit done. Or I can do it in recording and get even less done because my brain doesn't want to stop chatting. There we go. Now we're going to take the red orange and we're going to just bring that out. To fill in that gap. Then we will take a little tiny bit of the yellow ochre and just put a smidge. Put in a smidge towards the bottom of the mushroom here. Like so. Now I'll do the bottom part of her as well, just so I can get this part done. So I've got the Bordeaux here. We know there's a big shadow from him. And we'll put it in there. Then we're going to take the red, and extend it out like this. And then we'll take the orange and we'll bridge that gap. And like so. Alright, now we're going to take our yellow. So we have our amber orange here. And we're just going to put in the blending color here, the final tone. So that we can see the colors we've used. And there we have it, one grumpy fellow mushroom. Alright, so now we've only got 3 mushrooms left to go. So I'll quickly do this fella here, and we're going to do him in blues and greens, like this one here. So we're going to take the Prussian blue, not permanent blue, and Prussian blue. Which one's this one? Sea blue? Oh, maybe it wasn't Prussian blue. Light blue, dark ice blue, mountain blue. What's this one? Ice blue. Okay, maybe it wasn't Prussian blue. think it was sea blue. Permanent blue and sea blue that we used on the other one. Now, which one's darker? I think this one. So we're going to start with the permanent blue. Around the edges. Get that up into there. And then we're going to bring this up in to where the light is hitting. Same with up here, we're going to bring it down a little because there's a bit of a bend to them. And once again, I'm not worried too much about the dots because I will be going over them with some white gel pen. So I'm not too concerned about going over top of them. Because some of these dots are just really, really hard to see and avoid. But that's okay because we are going to go over it. Alright, now we're going to take a little bit more of that blue into here. Such a nice dark blue color. And then we're going to take the sea blue and we're going to extend that. Alright. And I'm just extending that into the rest of the front of the cap here so that when I add the next color it will be visible. So I'm going to take a bit of the green. So this is grass green. And I'm just going to go into the edge of that blue. Where we've extended it out. Going through and playing in some of the spot areas to give us a couple of little green spots. And once again, I'm not going too far in, just enough to show some green. Then we're going to take our lightest blue, I think this one, and we're just going to gently go over top of that and bring it into the center here. And then we're going to take our lightest green and we're just going to polish it off. So if you have used gesso on your page and you're finding that you have some bumpy bumpies, just keep going over it as if they're supposed to be there. Because it is a mushroom, you know. They're supposed to have bumpy bumpies. That's what people tell me anyway. Okay, so now we're going to just take our blue like so. And of course his body I'm going to do the same way. I'm just going to add a little bit more green up here. Okay. All right. So we will finish his blue mushroom like that. And this one here I think we're going to do in the blues and greens as well. And this one up here, I'm not sure how to do that one yet. I think I might do another rainbow one, but do her entire thing as a rainbow. Yeah, so our time is up. Let's switch you over to the close-up camera here, or the distance camera here, so we can see what we've got going on. So this fellow and this one here, we're going to do as a couple. We've got some purple red mushrooms here, so we may do this one in the purples and reds like this. This one here I'm going to do in the rainbow effect like this one's hat. But we're going to do the whole thing in that rainbow effect. And then I will be going through with some gel pen and doing up the white areas and maybe adding some glitter and stuff like that. Yeah, so by the end of today, it should be, today or tomorrow, it should be fully done. We may work on it again tomorrow if I don't do enough of it tonight. I know I will at least get him colored and the rest of her colored. We may do her and her tomorrow. Because tomorrow is First Impressions Friday, and I don't have anything to impress upon. So it does give me a little bit more time to work on those two with you and finish this entire picture off on screen. All right, guys, until tomorrow, I would like to say thank you all very much for joining me here and in Discord. YouTube on the public area states that I have 2,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. However, in my creators corner there, it only says 1998. So they're holding back on me. So I want to say thank you all very much for bringing me to this point. Of course, we will be having a small giveaway on the 29th, A, to commemorate our 2,000 subscriber mark, and B, to show tribute to this wonderful lady. She's going to be visiting with us. She will be on voice only. So make sure you come out and hang out, ask her some questions, and we'll talk more about her wonderful process and how she came to be making adult coloring books. And that will be on the 29th, which is our normal start over Saturday. We will not be starting over on that Saturday. I will have already picked a picture and we will be coloring a small picture of hers during Start Over Saturday. with her hanging out. Until then, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTuber's video that you watch. That is the best way possible to support the YouTube community. Always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for visiting. You have a fantastic day. All right, guys, bye-bye for now.